Welcome back, guys. I know we've been doing the Jake Ellenbogen live show. I've been having guests on, and I mean, it hasn't been as consistent as it was before the Rams got Matthew Stafford, but it's going to get back there. Don't you worry. We are back. I just had to do a video, and I had to do a live stream and like celebrate because, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I'm wearing a Lakers hat right now. I've worn it in the past. You guys know I'm a Lakers fan. The Lakers went out and acquired Russell Westbrook today. And Russell Westbrook, for those of you who don't know, I've been wearing that Wizards Russell Westbrook jersey before on streams, in videos. I mean, I love the guy. He's one of my absolute favorite players. And the fact that he is going to be a Laker is just, I have no words, man. I have no words. I'm a kid in a candy store. That's all I can say. And I love all of you, but for those of you that want to say, well, what about the floor spacing or what, well, Russell Westbrook is he can't shoot. Like, nobody can ruin this for me. Nobody. So I feel super excited. I'm just ecstatic right now. I really am. This is not me faking it, or I'm like super pumped. I'm trying to keep it real so you guys don't want to turn it off, but man, I'm just so happy. So we're going to talk about Russell Westbrook. We're going to talk about the, as you guys know, this is mainly a 75% Rams channel, but it's also 25% of whatever I want it to be. I just had a horror movie, video, Nightmare on Elm Street, ranked all of those in a series. We talk MCU on here. We talk NFL. We talk other sports occasionally. This is the occasion. We're going to talk about Russell Westbrook. We're going to talk about the Rams training camp. Get a little bit into that. If you guys can't see the thumbnail, because YouTube seems to be glitching out and showing the Stafford and Dak Prescott thumbnail I did about 2 weeks ago. The thumbnail basically is Russell Westbrook in a Lakers jersey. And next to him, you have Deshaun Jackson on the left, and you have Terrell Burgess on the right. And the reason I'm telling you this is because we will be talking about those two. So let's also, this is an Ask Me Anything. And perhaps if anyone's interested, I'll bring some people on as well, audio-wise. So let me know if anybody's interested in that. But, yeah, what's good, Bryant? How we doing? Niners fan for life. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. We should have a conversation, bro. I've been a Rams fan since I was 7. What's up, Tay? What do you mean conversation? Like, just on here? Because, I mean, you're more than welcome to ask me anything. Niners forever. As a Dodgers fan, Laker fan, it's a good day. No, I agree. I mean, if you're a Dodgers fan, I mean, I'm going to put my personal feelings towards the Dodgers aside. If you guys like the Dodgers, they went out and they got Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. So LA's making moves all over the place. My Hornets. Wait, did Russell Westbrook happen officially? So basically the way it works is that Washington has agreed to trade Russell Westbrook and a 2024 second-round pick and a 2028 second-round pick it's going to be the Lakers' first-round pick in this draft. It's going to be for Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and it's going to be for Montrezl Harrell, who I love. I mean, I really like all of them. Montrezl Harrell, sorry. I don't know why I said Montrezl. Montrezl Harrell, I really like. I like Kuzma. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is, a good defensive player, was showing a little bit of upside with his offense this past year. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is this. You're getting Westbrook. Westbrook is not going to be a guy that can shoot the three. He's not Damian Lillard. But here's the thing. Look at that coast-to-coast offense now. Look at that transition offense. When you look at having LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, they didn't have to trade Talen Horton-Tucker, who I love. So I'm a big fan of that. And, one thing I got to say is for people that are concerned about the Lakers doing this and how it might hamper what they can do and why they won't win a title, I will say this. The Lakers don't need to shoot threes to win. When you have Frank Vogel, you have a defensive-minded coach. You just need to be able to score, and that's something that they can do. They don't need to rely on the three ball, and really, for the most part, teams haven't had to do that, and I can go back and I can show you, or at least tell you. I have a tweet right here. Let's see, where is it at? Because it's great. It's Josh Toussaint. He says, the last 3 NBA champions, playoff three-point percentage. Raptors shot 34%. The Lakers shot 35%. And the Bucks shot 32%. Shooting is important, but it's not the end-all, be-all. And let's call it like it is. A lot of people want to hate on Russell Westbrook. But here's the thing. Russell Westbrook has basically normalized triple-doubles. Russell Westbrook has transcended basketball, in my opinion. And here's the thing. It's always, well, he didn't win, or he was with KD, he pushed KD away, all of that. I mean, KD wasn't winning with him. So it's got to be those. And then, KD goes to Golden State, and sure, they won with him, but they were winning before him. So here's the thing. Russell Westbrook now, he's with LeBron James, he's with Anthony Davis. Now there's no excuse. But I just got to say, Russell Westbrook is going to add so much to that team. I mean, he nearly averages a triple-double in the postseason alone. And look, he doesn't even have to average a triple-double on this team. All he really is, this is what he's going to do. Obviously, he's going to help in transition. He's super athlete. But the thing that I love about adding Westbrook to the table is that with LeBron James, this is a guy that's getting older. And we finally started to see he is not invincible, and age is starting to get to him a little bit. Not saying a lot, and LeBron is one of my absolute favorites, so I'm not saying he's, completely fallen off a cliff, but when you have Anthony Davis who can't stay healthy, and you have LeBron James who's getting older, it makes sense to want to conserve those two, at least LeBron James, in, making him not the primary ball handler, making Russell Westbrook. And I think it's going to allow them to do things that they weren't able to do in the past. And, the fact of the matter is this. Yes, they don't have a ton of money left. But they also have the Dennis Schroeder situation where now this trade is agreed upon. But until, I believe, the mid-August point, I don't know exactly what date. Feel free to let me know in the comments. Until mid-August, this trade is not official, which means they've already agreed to it. So the Wizards aren't going to go back on their deal. The point here is that the Lakers can actually add another team to sweeten the deal. And what I would speculate here is that there's a chance that maybe they could throw a guy like, say, Buddy Hield, with the Kings, sign Dennis Schroeder to a contract, sign and trade him for Buddy Hield, and there you have your shooting guard. You have a guy that can shoot, and you have Russell Westbrook. Look, they have to play this way. I am the biggest fan of building your team the way the Bucks did. 100%. Love homegrown talent. Love building it from the ground up. I'm not a fan of super teams, whatever. But here's the thing. When you have LeBron James nearing the end of his career, I can give you that mulligan there. I can understand why you would want, and you would want it to surround him with talent. I can understand that. This is your final push. You want to win as many titles with LeBron as you can, and it makes a lot of sense. Now, also, keep this in mind. Kuzma, we thought, was really hitting that next level at one point, and he hasn't hit that. So trading away Kuzma makes sense because he's shown that he's not truly developing. He's kind of he's hit that wall, proverbial wall, so to speak. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, you know who he is. And then, Montrezl Harrell, you know who he is. And I really like Harrell, but you know what you were getting with Harrell. So it's not like this isn't like the Anthony Davis trade where you traded Lonzo Ball and you traded Brandon Ingram. This is different. This is a steal for the Lakers. Make no mistake about it. And for people that want to say this contract sucks, I mean, look, maybe the contract does suck. But the good thing is, the guy just averaged 22 points per game. He averaged 11.7 assists and 11.5 rebounds last year. So whether it sucks or not, the guy produces. That's what Russell Westbrook does. I mean, he's Mr. Triple-Double. He's the one that started doing the thing that no one gave Oscar Robertson credit for doing years ago, and now all of a sudden people are bashing Russell Westbrook. So maybe just getting triple-doubles isn't that impressive anymore, mainly because Russell Westbrook normalized it. So I love this. I personally don't have an issue with his field goal percentage at all. 43.9%. Could it be better? Absolutely. But, some guys can't shoot, and he makes up for it by being a slasher, by being, a distributor of the ball, and a guy that can go up and get the rebound at 6'3". So I like it. I actually love it. And yeah, I'll say that. So I see there's a lot of comments here. Wow, there's more people joining, and I'm talking about the Lakers. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is actually a channel that people could get down with the Lakers. We'll see. Okay, so let me catch up here. Imagine Jordan need 2 top 10 players on his team. Yeah, but when Jordan left, Scottie Pippen still won 57 games with the Bulls. I get snippy when it comes to Jordan, man. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Let's see. Did you see the Jacob Harris injury? I did, Luke. It sounds to me like he's going to be okay, but it does open up the door of opportunity for, a Bryson Hopkins or even Kyle Markway, a guy that has some intriguing size, some intriguing talent. Did like him in college a little bit. I was going back through my notes. So Markway's an interesting one. I wouldn't just call him a camp body. I think he can make a move. I think he's going to make a guy like Kendall Blanton better because, now Blanton probably feels like he might have a practice squad spot locked up, and now here comes Markway, so we'll see with that. Blanton had a really nice catch in coverage against Juju Hughes. Very nice catch. It was thrown behind him, made a play on the football, held on. I did see that. So I'll say that. I think it'll open up opportunities for other players, but I think Jacob Harris will be fine. Malachi, what about Corey Seager? Well, now, I mean, that, I'm not entirely able to talk about baseball because I really just follow my Yankees for the most part. But, adding a guy like Trey Turner that can do a little bit of everything, and obviously, an infielder that can also play in the outfield, really versatile. It does make Corey Seager somewhat expendable, which is really weird to say because I think he's a great player. But it does give them opportunity. If they want to go out and get another guy, they could probably do that by trading away Seager. And what they could do, I'm not saying this is how they would operate because I don't feel like this is how the Dodgers operate. But if they see that, the Padres trying to get somebody, or if they see the Giants, who are now, cannot even believe I'm saying this, the Giants lead the league in wins. If they try to see that, the Giants are trying to make a deal, maybe they'll just throw Corey Seager in to, stop the Giants from making that said deal. It's like, cut the legs off, the Giants a little bit and try to slow them down. Let's see here. Kyle Kuzma of the Shanghai Sharks. He'll play shortstop and Turner at second. The spacing is going to mess up the Lakers' ability to score. I'm not worried about the spacing though. They'll make it work. I mean, really. I'm not. I mean, Anthony Davis can shoot the 3. We saw LeBron last year can shoot the 3. I'm not really too worried about it. The Lakers are going to be a different type of breed because we haven't really seen a team built like this. Obviously, this isn't a league full of, 3-point shooting, and that's what the league has evolved into. But this is going to be a new type of offense. I mean, we haven't really seen anything like this. Having 2 ball handlers that are elite like that with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook, I think is going to offer a lot more than what people think. And on top of that, as long as they can keep playing that defense that, Frank Vogel puts an emphasis on, they're going to be, at the very least, they'll be in the Western Conference Finals as long as they stay healthy. Russell Westbrook, coach, we're 5 games in the season. Explain why I don't have a triple-double yet. Yeah, baby. Westbrook is perfect for LA. Will take the load off LeBron, stays healthy, brings that hunger and heart to the team. Exactly my point. I hate the Lakers, says Rams House. Rams House. You hate the Lakers because you're a Clippers fan. You chose wrong there, my guy. I'm just messing. But let's see here. Hate is a strong word, Rams House. My friend is a Lakers and Cowboys fan, so it's hard to have a reasonable sports convo with him. Rams House, we get it though. Clippers suck. It's okay. Why does it do that? It always does that. He'll shoot much better because he has nothing to lose. All right, imagine this. I'm not saying it'll happen, but if Russell Westbrook all of a sudden just finds his shot with the Lakers, what are the haters going to do? What do you do? I mean, I'll say this. I'm going to be insufferable on Twitter for people that are, because I've been a Russell Westbrook supporter since day one. I've been a huge fan of his. I always, go against the grain of him being overrated. The stats prove he's not overrated, does everything. I just don't see how you could call him overrated. So if he wins a title with the Lakers, I'm going to be annoying. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm warning you. He'll shoot much better. Okay. Detroit versus everybody. Cade Cunningham, Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey, Killian Hayes, Jeremy Grant, best young core in basketball. Penei Sewell, best tackle in the draft. I mean, Don, you're just spitting facts there, my friend. Look, Cade Cunningham, great player. So that's obviously great. I really like Isaiah Stewart. The the center you got last year out of Washington. I think he was like 18 years old, so a lot of upside there. And then you have Sadiq Bey, a guy that I like a lot. Killian Hayes is going to be a very good point guard for, a long time. And Jeremy Grant really found his stride in his last season with Denver. So then when he ended up signing with the Pistons, he's able to get that big bag, but on top of that, he's committed there. He's going to try and build them up and help them, get better. And I agree with you on Penei Sewell, of course. I did generational grade on him and only him in this draft. So I love Penei Sewell. I agree with you. Jesus Montel, talk about the Dodgers trade. I did. He ain't Dodger fan. Hey, I'm trying to, I'll answer all questions I can. Lakers need shooters. Oh, that was what I was going to say before I started talking about the Dodgers. So the Lakers, the biggest, concern is, well, they're going to need shooters. They don't have anybody that can shoot the three. And this is what I'll say to that. Who's not going to want to play for this team? They have no money. Okay, but who's not going to want to play for this team? Who would not take the veteran minimum to play for this team? Because this team is going to be a title contender, no doubt, tomorrow. And the only issue is can they stay healthy? But that's the issue with every team. So who would not want to play for this team? Who would not be interested in that? Like, for real. Like, that's the only thing that's really holding them back is injuries. So, I mean, that's what I would say is that, you can play the stars and scrubs game if you get the scrubs, so to speak, to join you. And we saw that in the past. You build a nice roster and veterans like, a Vince Carter later on in his career, maybe Andre Iguodala will sign with you. And that's what happens. And sometimes those guys are just enough to get over, the hump and win a title. Said Super Bowl because I've been talking so much football lately. I don't talk a lot of basketball. I'm sure a lot of people are a little shocked by this, but I am a Lakers fan and I do talk other sports. I just don't really do it a lot on video. I don't do it a lot on this channel. This channel's really kind of evolved. I mean, I try to put out the stuff that you guys want to watch. So for the most part, my viewership tells me we want to watch Rams content. And that's really it for the most part. I mean, Rams content just dominates the viewership. I mean, just the retention rate, everything. The Rams content does so well. But I was interested to see this keep going up when I started talking about the Lakers. So maybe I'll explore that next year or this year. Who knows? Okay, so the opposite of guys not shooting staples will be much calmer. Love the stream. Thank you, Derek. Dodgers got a steal too. All right, I wouldn't say the Dodgers got a total steal. They did have to give up their top two prospects, two guys that I definitely like a lot. So I don't know if I would give it a total steal, but I hear you there. The Dodgers did well today. I'll give you that. Must be nice. I mean, my Yankees went out and they got, Anthony Rizzo, who, I mean, look, I like Anthony Rizzo. He's a great defensive first baseman. I love Luke Voit though, so I don't really like that he might replace Luke Voit. But furthermore, Anthony Rizzo is so awesome because the dude took down cancer, and it just, I always thought that was just so awesome, I mean, just the fact that he took on Hodgkin's lymphoma and beat it, just like Rams left guard Chandler Brewer, who, by the way, was working with the twos today. I know that was a weird segue that you guys weren't expecting, but here we are. Um, let's see here. Blanton's still there. For his advanced age, D-Jack can fly. Yeah, let's talk about that. Deshaun Jackson, if he stays healthy, might be in for quite the year. I mean, it seems like he's got a really good rapport going on, with Matthew Stafford. But it goes, back to what I've been saying, like every single show. I mean, Matthew Stafford will throw to whoever is out there running routes on his team. And I think that's the thing that needs to be said here, is that this isn't a picky guy. This isn't a guy that's like, I need my wide receiver. And no, I'm not knocking Aaron Rodgers. I love that Randall Cobb went back to the Packers. Randall Cobb, real quick, was one of my favorite receivers in the league when he was on Green Bay in his prime. So I'm not hating on him. But my point here is that Stafford wouldn't ever really ask for a receiver like that. That's why I never really bought in the Julio Jones to the Rams hype, and I definitely didn't buy in the idea that they needed Julio Jones, because Stafford will throw to whoever's on the roster. He doesn't care. If you are in the NFL, you are capable. How many times do I have to bring it up against the Titans? The seam buster, 50 yards down the field to their fourth string tight end, Hunter Bryant. How many times do I have to bring that up? Stafford will throw to anybody on the roster. Doesn't matter if Kendall Blanton's out there. Doesn't matter if Kyle Markway's out there. Tristan Jackson, J.J. Koski, you name it. Landon Akers. It does not matter who is out there. He is going to get you the ball if you are open. If you are on his team, you are going to be a target, and that's the thing that's very important. And it's great to have a quarterback like that, because a lot of the things I liked about Jared Goff. One thing I didn't like is he seemed to lock on to his receivers way too much. He seemed to have a really big time favorite target. He'd lean on a Cooper Kupp. He'd lean on Tyler Higbee at times, and defenses know that. With Matthew Stafford not leaning on one particular receiver, it's incredibly difficult as a defense to key in on, those situations. So that's what makes him so good. And then, of course, the look off and everything. Apparently, he threw a no-look pass that was absolutely beautiful. Robert Woods beat Jalen Ramsey down the field today. So I don't have any video on it. I didn't see it, but that's what I heard. So I definitely, I'm ready for the season. I mean, that's for sure. And I'm ready for our watch parties, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. We're going to have this thing going. I'm going to be watching the Rams preseason. You're going to be watching the Rams preseason. I'm going to be on here. I'm going to be answering questions, giving you my thoughts. Just giving you a little bit more analysis than maybe you might have just watching the game, just chilling there. At least from my perspective. I'm not saying the announcers won't be doing their good job, but I'll try to add something else to it. Plus, I'll be answering people's questions on the spot, so be ready for that. Let's see here. Oh, man, Van Jefferson took Robert Rochelle straight to school, 15 yards separation. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Love to hear that. Van Jefferson is just great. His footwork is lethal. Ron Burgundy is livid because of the Dodgers trade. Thoughts on Anthony Rizzo trade? Aiden, I really feel like, the Anthony Rizzo trade, it's a good trade for the Yankees to go out and get, a left-handed bat. I think he's going to do a nice job, especially with that, that right field porch, because he is a guy that can pull it. And, he's a really, really good defensive first baseman, one of the best in the league. So for me, I think that makes sense. I just hate it because Luke Voigt's coming off the IL, and I would have liked to see Luke Voigt get an opportunity. And I mean, he was really, a huge member of the offense last year. When everybody went down with injuries or, had COVID or what have you, Luke Voigt kept trucking and hitting home runs, and he finished with more home runs than anybody last year. suffered injury this year, and apparently that's completely crushed his future with the Yankees. They're not going to be able to sign him, supposedly, and that's why they're trying to trade him and free up that space. I don't really like it, but whatever. But Rizzo is good. I do like Rizzo, so I'm not going to hate on that. Wasn't the biggest fan of the Joey Gallo move. I will say that. I do think it was a little overrated. I know the analytic nerds are going to come at me and say that Joey Gallo is great. He has a great WAR, whatever. But he hits like 220. I know he hits a lot of home runs, but I'm a big fan of hitting for average, and there's like no use really throwing analytics in my face because I just don't really care. I'm an old school baseball head, I'll be honest with you, and I know it's weird because I'm 25 years old and I haven't gotten with the program and I'm not an analytical nerd, but the thing I love about baseball is feel. And one thing that analytics will never give you is the feel of the game. I played it for 15 years. I know damn well that the feel of the game, you can't look at a spreadsheet and be like, all right, we got to take out the pitcher now. You got to have a game flow. You got to have feel. It's the same thing in football. If a guy has the hot hand and he's just torching defenses, running at least 5 to 6 yards per carry, I'm not taking that guy out because I need to play the other guy because the analytics told me to. I'm going to keep him in because they can't stop him. I'm not going to take him out of his mojo. You know what I mean? So I feel like that is kind of where baseball's gone. And we saw it the other day. If you guys saw the Yankee game, and I know a lot of you aren't Yankee fans, but I have to bring it up because they had, it was Domingo Germán I think it was last Sunday. I want to say it was Sunday. Domingo Germán was on the mound, and he was absolutely killing it. He didn't give up a hit, then he gives up a double, and Aaron Boone yanks him in the 8th inning. I mean, he's pitching a no-hitter in the 8th inning. He gives up a hard double against the Red Sox, and Fenway has a 4-run lead. So what happens? He takes him out because the analytics told him to. He has 93 pitches. We got to take him out because he had 93 pitches. What happens? They put in Johnny Lasagna, or whatever his name is, Loaisaga, and Loaisaga comes in and gives up 5 runs, and that's the end of the game. The Yankees lose a game in which they should have won. They were up 4-0 with a pitcher throwing a freaking no-hitter on the road, and they take him out, and then they end up losing 5-4 against their arch rival, and everybody's looking like, what just happened? I mean, the best way I can say it, I think Kim Jones said it best. I think it was Kimberly Jones. I'm not sure, but Kimberly Jones, if I'm correct, she tweeted out, definitely somebody with a checkmark tweet. I mean, I have a checkmark too, but you know what I mean. Somebody, I think it was Kim Jones, tweeted out that I feel like at this point the Yankees have lost the feel for the game, and that's the hitting the nail on the head, because the Yankees have just gotten so analytical, and so has baseball, to be honest with you. We don't care if a guy has a horrible batting average as long as he gets on base. We don't care if a guy strikes out all the time with runners in scoring position as long as he gets on base and has a good WAR or whatever you want to call it, and it's totally just taking me out of the game. But I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. That's my thoughts on all of that. I'm just really annoyed with the Yankees lately, and I don't feel like the Joey Gallo trade takes them to a World Series level. I feel like they should have been sellers, to be honest, at the deadline. They're not winning a World Series unless they really get their act together. I mean, Gleyber Torres was a top prospect. They get him from the Cubs. In one of the most, it was such a ridiculous trade because they got Aroldis Chapman back, who they traded. But Gleyber was supposed to be a superstar, and right now he's, hitting 240, has 6 home runs. He's not having a very good year. Gary Sanchez isn't even hitting 200, I don't think. And even, their big offseason, re-signing, so to speak, because they waited so long to sign him, DJ LeMahieu isn't hitting well either. So it's just been a rough year for the Yankees. I don't see a World Series coming, and so I don't really understand going out and trying to trade everyone unless you're, well, I do get it. For Cashman, he's probably on the hot seat and he's probably trying to cling to something, but I definitely would have sold if I were the Yankees because I don't think they're winning a World Series this year personally. Okay, let's see here. Wow, what a day. Russ, Trey Turner, Mad Max. Yeah, Max Scherzer's fantastic. One of the best pitchers in the league over the last decade. That is definitely a move there. Trey Turner, we need to steal bases. Trey Turner does steal bases. Rizzo just looks like a Yankee. This is true, but it's probably also because he's already shaved. Which, by the way, as somebody that has facial hair, Screw the Yankees' little BS facial hair policy. I would never shave. You know, how's a better roster? Like, you know, win a World Series before you start telling me I need to start shaving my beard to play for you. Come on now. Where is Keenan Allen in ranking amongst other wide receivers? I will tell you, because I actually have that here. It's crazy that you asked that. Keenan Allen is my 5th overall receiver. I think he's phenomenal. Maybe the best route runner in football. Love Keenan Allen. Imagine showing a 12-year-old Jalen Ramsey in a Jaguars jersey. Man, that feels so long ago. I forget Jalen Ramsey played for the Jaguars sometimes. It feels like it's been that long. Jody, appreciate you. I just saw the $4.99 donation. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. What was I going to say? I'll be at Rams preseason. Ooh, that's awesome. Please break down rosters. I want to know how many players make this official roster, how many make the practice squad, what the practice squad means. Also explain cuts. Oh my God. Okay, Christian, that's a lot. I don't know if, I guess I can try going off the top of my head right now. I don't want to pull up the whole roster and everything, but okay, so it might not be an exact 53, but let's just say the Rams keep 2 quarterbacks out of the 4 that they have. But I guess let's just start easy, right? So you're asking to explain the cuts. Once a player's cut, they're gone from the roster. They go into waivers unless they have, I think, 4 accrued NFL seasons, and then in which they don't have to go through waivers. They just become an instant free agent. When you're cut, without having the 4 accrued NFL seasons, I believe that's when you become a waiver. You go through the waiver process. Everybody has a chance in the league to claim you. If they don't claim you, then you can revert to a practice squad and a team can sign you. You become a free agent, but a team can sign you to a practice squad if they so choose. What was the other part of that? How many makes... So right now it's a little murky. A source told me that this could expand to 16, especially with the recent COVID cases. But originally it was supposed to be 12 this year. So I would probably say 16 to be safe, but originally it would be 12. The Rams will have an additional one because they're part of that foreign exchange football. I don't know the exact name of it, but essentially they have Maximilian Percher, who is an Italian offensive tackle, and he is automatically in the Rams building. He is part of that international program that allows players in other countries to come over and play in the NFL. And so the Rams will have him throughout the foreseeable future on their practice squad, very similar to Christian Wade from the UK, the running back for the Bills. He was on their practice squad. He doesn't come off it. I don't know when he comes off it, but you don't have to cut them. They're automatically going to make it. They're, an extra practice squad spot. You don't have to use your 16 or 12 or whatever ends up being. With Goff, once McVay's system broke down throughout the game, he just can't do just as good. And I'm not called terrible because he's in the NFL, but with Stafford, you can run spread and drop back. No, you're right there. There are times where, we talked about it when Alex came on. I don't know if you guys saw those videos, but man, Alex is just a wealth of knowledge. And, when Alex Rollins came on, he said it best. Goff is just really not able to go out of structure. Everything has to be, it's a straight line. Everything has to be by the book. And so Stafford is the opposite, where he literally can make things happen in the blink of an eye, and he can change the course of a game. And it doesn't have to be, as part of the system or what have you. And that's what makes Stafford so incredible, is that, he can do those things that other quarterbacks just simply cannot. Because they can't move out of structure. Tom Brady, 3-2 tutties against the Yankees. Interesting. Hey, what's up, Jake? What's up, Henry? Pretty sure a Yankees manager benched a player for not shaving. Probably. I would not be surprised. I think... the Yankees are my number 1 team in baseball, but they have the dumbest grooming rule I've ever seen. You can only have a mustache, a lightly trimmed mustache, I think is the definition. You can't have a beard. It just looks it's stupid. I don't know. I've never been a fan of that. I hate jobs where they're like, yeah, you need to shave. Like I had I'm not gonna get into it because yeah, I don't want to burn any. Well, all right, I'll get into it. So I had a job in the past where they said that I had to like trim my beard or whatever, and I was just like, well, whatever. I think it's stupid, but that's just me. Okay, pretty sure. Okay, I said that. Who do you think is better, Giants or Padres? That's so tough. I haven't really been following. I just saw the other day that the Giants are in first place. So I mean, I think the Padres have a more like well-known roster. I think they have better players, so to speak. But I mean, the Giants are just, I mean, they have guys like Brandon Crawford that have been there for a while. You talk about having Buster Posey still hitting over 300, and Yastrzemski, and they have a bunch of guys there. I love it. I cannot believe Longoria is still in the league. And Kevin Gausman, last time I checked, he has like a ERA below 2.6. He's just having a crazy year that we just never saw in Baltimore. So, I think the Giants, the way they're playing right now, they may not have gone out and gotten the gemstones of the trade deadline, but maybe if they stick to their guns, maybe sticking this way and staying pat at the deadline might actually be a blessing for them, because I think what they have right now is chemistry and they're on the same page. And really right now the Yankees aren't that way. The Padres are. The Dodgers were having a little bit of an issue, especially with the whole Trevor Bauer thing. I don't really know too much about that. I just know it's not a good situation. So getting Scherzer is huge for them. But with the Giants, I mean, I just think they're just having a great season and they're overachieving. But sometimes that's what happens. I mean, just go back and you look at the teams that Buck Showalter built from the ground up with the Yankees. You're talking about the farm system. You're talking about Derek Jeter coming up. Playing single A, not far away from where I live right now. Jorge Posada and Bernie Williams, and just, all these different players that they developed, and they had guys like Chuck Knobloch and Scott Brocious, and that's the thing is like Mo Rivera, and I just, they did such a great job of building that team. I'm not saying the Giants are that team, but I'm saying they're probably the closest I've seen in a while to being that team in a league where you have, no offense to the Dodgers fans, but you have a team that's willing to go out, and I have a fly like right there. You have in a league where you have the Dodgers who aren't afraid to make any sort of trade whatsoever. It's really nice, and it's a breath of fresh air, in my opinion, to see a team like the Red Sox that are just entirely, it seems like, homegrown. And then you look at, the Giants and what they're doing. They added some guys, sure, but they're pretty homegrown as well. And they added cast-offs. I mean, Kevin Gausman wasn't really doing anything of mention in Baltimore, and here he is, and he's killing it in San Francisco. So, props to them. It's funny, I remember they won the World Series against the Rangers, and my grandpa said I didn't think I would see them win I didn't think I'd see them win a World Series again before I died, and that was a chance to see another one potentially. Well, I'm rooting for them. If it's not the Yankees, which I don't think it'll be, for my grandpa, I definitely want the Giants to do well. I will say, sorry for you Dodgers fans out there. Let's see here. Where are we? Sorry guys, it just totally, it moves. I'm on the next question, and then it just drops down and I lose focus on that. It's a good move, but the Clippers just drafted the Keon Johnson out of Tennessee, so check and mate. I believe they will increase the 53-man roster because of the 17 games now. There's a chance, yeah. Joe Montana played in a structured system. Yeah, but Joe Montana could operate outside of structure, though. If Stafford was the quarterback in Super Bowl 53, would we have won against the Patriots? I have no doubt in my mind Matthew Stafford would have won a Super Bowl with the Rams. And to be honest with you, the Rams, say they started off with Stafford in 2017, you kept the team exactly the way it was, the Rams might have won multiple Super Bowls right now. I'm just going to be real with you. He's that good. It's not, a little bit of an upgrade over Goff. Stafford's been a top 6 talent that has been trapped in an organization that really didn't help him much, aside from drafting Calvin Johnson and getting lucky he fell to 3. Okay. And by the way, I don't hate the Lions. I actually like the Lions. Hoping Jared Goff does well there, rooting for them. Michael Brockers, Aubrey Pleasant, Brad Holmes. A lot of reasons why, I find it easy to root for the Lions this year. But let's just call it like it is. Stafford was a lot better. And a lot of people don't know that because he was trapped on the Lions. I don't know why, but I don't believe in the Buccaneers. I see so many saying they're the best team, but that has to be wrong. Taylor Heineke almost beat them. Got lucky in all playoff games. Green Bay. Luke, I understand where you're coming from. I wouldn't say they got lucky. I mean, they did have to make plays. I mean, you could say Tom Brady got lucky because he threw 3 interceptions and his defense bailed him out. You could say that maybe the referee should have thrown a flag when I think it was Sean Murphy Bunting was all over DeAndre Hopkins. Can't even say his name. Devontae Adams was all over Devontae Adams over the middle of the field, which led to an interception. So, maybe you could throw that out there. The Taylor Heineke game was just really bizarre, and it's almost more bizarre that they're not willing to start him. And I'm all for, can't even talk. Fitzpatrick. I'm all for Fitzpatrick to start, but I do find it weird that Heineke's not. All right. Can't wait to watch the Dodgers-Astros game and just hear all the boos like the Yankees game, but 10 times worse. Hey, Jake, can you wish Xavier Howard and Khalil Mack come to the Rams? You wish Stafford to the Rams and Russ to the Lakers. You are the chosen one. I don't really want Howard. I know it sounds weird, but he can't really afford Howard. Howard is all about getting paid right now. He honestly rubbed me the wrong way. I thought his statement was kind of out of pocket. Look, Byron Jones. Let me let you guys know this, okay? Byron Jones shadows the number 1 receiver in every game on film for the Dolphins. He's the one that does the dirty work, okay? I'm not saying Xavier Howard isn't impressive with his 9 or whatever interceptions, but I wasn't necessarily thrilled with him and his, statement saying I'm not even the highest paid corner on my team because, well, duh. Byron Jones is on your freaking team. And oh, by the way, Byron Jones played throughout his whole rookie contract, and then got paid. You signed a contract. I understand you've outperformed, or at least you think you've outperformed it, but there are better ways to handle it. And to me, I didn't like that. And call me old school, call me a boomer. I've heard it all. But Byron Jones is freaking awesome and absolutely deserved that pay. And I thought it was a little selfish and showed kind of him being a poor teammate by saying that. Byron Jones probably didn't even take it that way. But, I mean, hell, you're going to say that. It's one thing to say I'm not getting paid. I'm not the top 5 highest paid, fine. But also keep this in mind. Exactly, Kellen. You can't be the highest paid when you're not even the best at your position, 1. And 2, you can't be the highest paid for long. It doesn't last. You're going to keep getting guys that overwrite. So, like, Jalen Ramsey is the best corner in the league, and I don't really see it that close. I think Jair Alexander and Marlon Humphrey are below, but I don't think they're right below him. I think they're a little ways below him. So here's the thing. Jalen Ramsey will not be the highest paid corner the next big corner signing, okay? Marlon Humphrey won't either because he's already signed. But Jair Alexander probably will. And so Jair Alexander will take that over, and Jalen Ramsey is still the best corner. That doesn't change anything. But, the problem is it's all about this status. It's a status symbol. Because what difference does it make to have $24 million versus $25 million? or 20 million versus 21 million, or 19 million versus 21 million, or whatever. It's really not that big in the grand scheme of things. So it's a status symbol, you know? To me, we need to realize it's a stock game. Oh, you're the one that signed the contract last? Okay, so you're on top right now, and then someone will pass you. It's going to happen. It happens all the time. So I think it's such a big deal. People make such a big deal over who gets paid the most. It's silly. Do you know how you get paid the most? Do you want to know how? Make yourself marketable. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady probably got paid more than any quarterback, except he took a pay cut literally every single year with the Patriots so they could sign more players. I give Tom Brady a lot of flack because I'm not the biggest fan of his. We know that. But also because I think the hype has gotten ridiculous. Like whatever. But one thing I will never hold against Tom Brady is his desire to win more than anybody, because he took all those pay cuts, and it's so simple. He's marketable. So he was making a killing off of advertising. He was making a killing off of sponsorships and endorsements. And so for that reason, he made himself the highest paid. You see where I'm going with this? So I just feel like it's such a, I don't know, it just has gotten kind of annoying, hearing about it all the time. And yeah, so-and-so is holding out today. Man, I thought if Zach Wilson held out longer, than this week, man, I just, think about the optics. I understand it was something over like $1 million. The Jets should just give it to him, sure, but it's not a good look when you're a franchise quarterback, or they're drafting you to be a franchise quarterback, and you come in and you sit out. I mean, we could call it a business all we want, and sure, I think there are people that believe that, but saying a business or it's a business every time, I don't think is the greatest excuse for, lack of loyalty and lack of leadership. I can just say that. And I mean, I still say over and over again, people will be like, well, Jalen Ramsey did that with the Jaguars. It wasn't about money with the Jaguars. Do you know why Jalen Ramsey made a huge hissy fit about the Jaguars? Because he didn't like Tom Coughlin. He didn't like the Jaguars. He didn't think they were run the right way. And honestly, survey says I got to believe him. Why? Because Jalen Ramsey's the best corner in the NFL, one. And two, the Jaguars went somehow from being a play away from the Super Bowl in 2017 to falling off a cliff. I mean, one could presume it would be because they had Doug Marrone as their head coach, who was just a guy. Another could be it was more at the top. But you don't have Yannick Ngakoue and Dante Fowler and, what's his face? The safety they drafted from Alabama. I totally forgot his name. They drafted him in the second round. Harrison, I think it was. He's on the Browns now. He wanted to quit football. He was asking for a trade. He had been in the league for 2 years. How bad was it? We'll never know, but I don't think it was very good. And so, for that reason, it was not about the money. So when people say, well, Jalen Ramsey did the same thing as Xavier Howard, no, he didn't. Xavier Howard is talking about the money. He's not saying that the Dolphins are a bad organization. He's not having an issue with what they're doing and how they're going to win. He's saying, I have a problem with the way they've treated me, and I'm not getting paid what I think I deserve. And he even admitted in the statement that he didn't know what he was signing. I don't know why he signed it then. I didn't realize at the time. Okay. All right. But that's not Ramsey. Ramsey literally just wanted to get out of Jacksonville, and he tried everything in his power to do it. It was never about money. If it was about money, then as soon as he went to the Rams, he would have had a deal. But since it wasn't about money, he focused on playing for the Rams. And by the way, there's a lot of people that want to get on Ramsey for being a diva and being, all about himself. But you know what's funny? All Ramsey has done is try to recruit players to come to LA. All Ramsey has done is go to the field, practice, go to training camp, go to mini camp, go to the games. He never held out at one thing with the Rams. He just let it work itself out. So if it was all about the money, then why did Ramsey do that? And why did Ramsey not throw a fit for not having a contract as soon as he walked through the door? And that's my point. Xavier Howard has a contract, and he's freaking the hell out. And it just, I mean, it's his right, it's a free country, you can do that, but I'm free to say what I want as well. As long as, technically I'm free to say whatever I want, period. But I say, as long as I'm not being tasteless about it, I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm not saying he's, I'm not throwing explicit, like I'm not like cursing at him or anything like that. I'm not calling him a dummy. I'm just saying I don't agree with the way he's handling it. And I don't think that was the greatest, form of leadership or being a teammate. Throwing your other teammate under the bus for making more than you when he's deserving. And I'd say that over and over again, Can you also wish the Dodgers randomly getting $300 million in cap without losing anyone? You know what I wish? I wish that, and I'm not saying it's like it's possible, but I'm wishing for something to not happen. If anybody finds out that these are bad for you, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I drink these every day. Sparkling Ice should, freaking sponsor me. I drink about 2 to 3 of them a day. There's no sugar in them. They're amazing. But that's what I'm hoping. I'm wishing for this to not be bad for me because I feel like everything comes out and they're like, yeah, it's bad for you. It causes kidney failure, all of that. So I have a weird feeling that someone's going to find out someday that this is super bad for you and like causes heart failure. Maybe I'm morbid. I don't know. What else you guys got? It's been a while. I can wish Jair to the Rams. I love Jair Alexander. Is everyone in here on the Discord? We got 275 people on the Discord channel. Oh. I mean, if you guys follow me on Twitter, then you already know. But if you don't know, I'm bringing back that giveaway. I tabled it for a little bit. I didn't get a ton of interest from it. I agree. They do taste way too good to be healthy. That's why I'm praying that that's not going to be the case. But anyway, top free agents out there. I'll get into that in just a sec. So I decided today, after thinking about it for a while, it was just like, I really want to give away a PS5, all of that, but I don't want to give it away to a small amount of people. I really want to wait until it blows up. I'm glad I waited because now I'm verified on Twitter, so I think now my my tweet will show up. The algorithm will push it out more. It'll do what do better, right? But I wanted to wait until the season started. So if you guys don't know, on my Twitter you can find the giveaway entry. I'm giving away a PS5, but here's the catch, okay? Obviously, you gotta follow, subscribe, do all that jazz. All of the directions will be on that tweet. It is pinned on my Twitter at JKBogan. And essentially what it is that I'll be giving away a PS5, and we're going to be announcing it on the live stream following the conclusion of the Rams and Bears Sunday Night Football game. So as soon as that ends, I will be on this stream and I will be announcing the winner of the PS5. So be sure you enter that if you want to win a PS5. Because that's, obviously that's a big deal. Top free agents still out there. I'll win for Jared Cook fans. Oh my god. I saw he caught a touchdown today from Justin Herbert, and I thought of you, Luke. I can't tell if you actually like Jared Cook that much or it's a meme. Top free agents still out there, I'd say Justin Houston, and I would say KJ Wright. But there's not a ton out there because, finally, I hope the Rams know what they're doing with David Long, because if he ends up starting and failing, they had a chance to go out and get Brian Poole, and he just signed with the Saints. Same with their edge defense. If nobody steps up across from Leonard Floyd, they had a chance to get Melvin Ingram. They still have a chance to get Justin Houston. I really would get Justin Houston. Oh, you're a legit fan of Jared Cook. Dude, I always thought you were kidding. Oh, Trevor, that would be funny. That would never happen. Christian, I did all that. At least I thought. Man, Andy Dalton. Oh my god, Andy Dalton. So I'm actually, is anyone interested? Oh, come on, Christian. All right. Okay, so I would say, okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's interested, but I'm going to be coming out with fantasy football rankings or projections, so watch out for that. I'm going to be posting that on Twitter and maybe on, DTR. But slowly but surely, I'm coming up with my rankings. I was really crazy. I mean, I could not believe how high I had Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson might be my QB1 this year in fantasy. His running ability is not emulated by anybody. The closest I would say is Kyler Murray. And I guess we'll see, if Trey Lance starts the whole season, he has an opportunity maybe. And then Justin Fields, that athletic ability, sure, but there's nobody that can run the ball the way Lamar Jackson can. So that's something. What's up, Wyatt? How we doing? Really hoping that Nagy is just planning to sacrifice Dalton in week 1, go to Fields in week 2. I kind of feel like that's what they're going to do, Trevor. I'm not really sure. I don't know for sure, but I mean, that's what I would do. Austin Eckler, RB5. I'm curious to see where I have Eckler. I'm putting together kind of a formula, and I'll have those up. Probably going to finish quarterbacks first. NCAA 11, huh? Let's see what we got here. I don't even think I shared this on Twitter. We have a pretty good showing tonight. We had over 40 people, max. Yeah, I'm trying to... Okay. Justin Fields versus Aaron Donald. Oh, God. He's going to ragdoll my boy. I'm a big Justin Fields fan, so I don't want him to get hurt. I mean, I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't even like Andy Dalton. I definitely don't want him to get hurt. All right. What? So whoever disliked this must not like Russell Westbrook, my face, or the Rams. One of the above, right? What do you think on Frank Gore, Adrian Peterson, just for any team? Could they be starters? Frank Gore, no. Frank Gore does not have... Frank Gore is... I mean, if you look at his yards per carry, it's been going down. He just gets, volume touches. So for me, Frank Gore's probably done. Adrian Peterson, if you gave him enough carries, he could go over 1,000 yards, run for maybe 4.2 yards per carry, I'd say. I think he can still play in this league. I've been saying that over and over again. Todd Gurley still can too. Todd Gurley's not going to be the explosive Todd Gurley from 2017 and 18, but he can still go for 700 yards if you give him the opportunity. And honestly, he could probably go for more than that because he almost had 700 yards in the limited, half season as being the starter before they started using Brian Hill. So I don't know. My Russ to the Lakers reaction, I was stoked. I still am. I cannot even believe it. I was going to wear my Russell Westbrook Washington Wizards jersey because I've worn it before. He's one of my absolute favorite players. So being a Laker fan and being a Russell Westbrook fan, it's really cool to see him, them get him. And as, many of you guys know, I've been a huge Stafford fan for years. I've wanted him 5 years ago. I tweeted about wanting the Rams to go and get him. And, now he's a Ram and it's crazy. Same year, man. There wasn't so much going on. I could say this year's been perfect, but it there's some stuff going on. Obviously, I've mentioned it before. Just telling you, to keep my family, in your thoughts and prayers. But if I didn't have that, I could absolutely say this year's been perfect. And that's not to dismiss that. It's to say that I am, having that good of a year so far, aside from a huge, huge stuff going on. Let's see. All Todd Gurley has to do is emulate C.J. Anderson bowling ball, man. Is it too early to debate if Cam Akers is injury prone? I don't know if it's too early, man. It's sad, but Cam Akers has suffered 3 injuries in a calendar year. If you really think about it, and it's not good. So, I didn't have a video up of Westbrook. I was making one and I never finished it. I actually just found it the other day. I was going to edit it and I was just like, you know what? This is so bad. This is my old camera. It's with my old setup. Lighting is horrible. I was such a snob. I ended up deleting it. But yeah, I had a video about Russell Westbrook I never posted. And then you might be thinking of the video I did with the Russell Westbrook jersey on. That's funny. Man. What is going on? Oh my God. All right. All right, I'm going to kick back, relax. You guys, let me know if you have any questions. It's hot as hell in here. I have the fan pointed right at me, and it's still really hot. I hope it's not, affecting the mic. I can't imagine it is, but maybe it is. I don't know. It's 11:13 on the East Coast. That means Rams time. It is 8:13. Luke likes Taylor Heineke a lot, apparently. We're definitely growing. I see the subscriber count is 60-30. That's not actually accurate, though. It's every 10. So yeah, I have 6,037 subs. Hey, you guys remember what the goal was? 20,000 by the end of the year. You guys exhausted already? I mean, we have 29 people in here, but good question. I got to stream soon, like game stream. I could wait until Madden drops. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy year in LA. Even for the Dodgers fans. I'm not a Dodgers fan, but, you know, I guess shout out to them. Good for them, you know. I still got to finish the Chucky movie series. If you guys haven't been following along on my Twitter, I've been watching all these horror series going back. I re-ranked them all, but I'm doing videos for each one. And what has grabbed your attention most from the reports in Rams camp so far? Well, I think the thing that's grabbed my attention the most, it's tied. It's 1A and 1B. 1A, Deshaun Jackson, and 1B, Terrell Burgess. It looked like Burgess was flying all over the place, in practice and training camp. So I'm excited for him. Somebody that I've gotten to know a little bit, having him on the show multiple times, and he's a great dude, and I definitely want to get him back on soon. He's really killing it, it sounds like. So it doesn't surprise me. I think he has Pro Bowl potential. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being, a big time player. So, it's just a matter of him staying healthy. That injury last year was really brutal. And I think he was really finding his stride, and it was starting to click, and then he got hurt. But I'm really excited for him, moving forward. I'd probably say him and then Deshaun Jackson with the deep threat, obviously. This isn't working the way I thought it would. There we go. Who would you have as your franchise quarterback, Trey Lance or Desmond Ridder? Trey Lance, but I really do like Desmond Ridder. It wouldn't be particularly close. Because I'd have Trey Lance quite a bit ahead of Ridder. Jake, man, I don't know about Tutu. He has been off to a rocky start. Hope he doesn't make boneheaded mistakes on the field. He scares me. I get that. Can't wait to see Burgess this year. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Tutu Atwell. I just think, it's not the best start, but he's not out for the year or anything like that. It's COVID, and that's serious, but, hopefully he's going to be okay and, be able to bounce back. But no, I mean, I get it. It seems like it's a bad omen when it comes to Tutu, right? When you look at, first off, he has the Instagram boomerang, which kind of gives away one of the plays, or at least the verbiage in the playbook. And then, you look at him spoiling, the jersey giveaway or whatever, or jerseys, whatever, which did end up being the jerseys. And then, of course, this. And then if you guys saw my live stream with Devin Jackson, when Devin tried to mention him, and there was a loud bang, loud thunder during that. So I guess it just feels like a bad omen, but I don't know. It might end up working out. But I definitely think Burgess is going to work out. I can tell you that much. Thunder. I know a lot of people want me to be wrong about Lance, but I'm telling you, I don't think I'm wrong about Lance. I think he's the real deal, but we'll see. I'm pretty confident he's the real deal. I think we should have drafted Terrace Marshall over Tutu. He's good deep threat as well, but he can do much. He can do so much, but that's my opinion. Well, Derek, I share that opinion. I like Tutu now that he's a Ram. You know, I can see his role. I can envision what he's going to be and how he's a long-term fit and a guy that can help, you know, in a gadget role early on. But Terrace Marshall, I had a first-round grade on. Tutu, I had a sixth-round grade on. So, you know, in the moment, I was all for Terrace Marshall. I was all for, you know, somebody along those lines, you know, Ifeatu Melifonwu, things like, you know, guys like that. So, yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that at all, to tell you the truth. So, oh, well, I guess. But we'll see with Tutu. I mean, I'm not completely, you know, sold that he's not the guy. I'm not sold that he is, but I do think if used correctly, he has a chance to be really good. You guys got anything else? Jake, do you think we bring Stafford back in 2 years if we don't win the Super Bowl by then? Oh, that's such a great question, Christian. You know, I'm not really too sure, but I do want to say that, you know, in 2 years, Jake Shavink's quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, might be available. So keep that in mind. You know, there's a lot of up in the air, uncertainty, things along that nature, but it would definitely be interesting if Stafford doesn't win a Super Bowl with the Rams in those 2 seasons. You know, maybe they move on, they go after Rodgers or somebody like that. I mean, you know, or they try and trade, and I don't know. Have you done anything on the 2022 draft yet? Haha. Jake, man, no, I have not. You know, basically leaving that all up to our draft gurus over at Downtown Rams, Pat Pryor, Brandon Coyle, and Tanner over there. I'll dive in, but not, you know, right now it's just not really able to. I mean, his return was always inevitable. If he wasn't going back to the Packers, if he was going to be traded to the Broncos were going to win the AFC, in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is the best quarterback, you know, of all time. I've said that. So, you know, whatever happened, I just was ready. I was prepared for it. But let's see. Thoughts on David Edwards? I think he's good. I think he's good too. The hope is he takes an extra step, but if he doesn't, you know, he's a solid starter at the way he is right now. Absolutely, Christian. Yeah, I got to do these. I love having guests on, but I definitely have to. I realize it's a different show, and I can't guarantee, you know, as much fan interaction when I have a guest on as opposed to when it's just me. Who scares you most in the NFC? Also, NFC West. Scares me most in the NFC. This is going to sound weird. I'm not really scared of any team right now. I'm really that high on the Rams. The NFC West, I guess the 49ers, because I think, you know, Trey Lance and what he can do, if they give him the opportunity, I think he's way better than Garoppolo, and I think he takes them to a level they've never been before. But, you know, that's that. God, I hate fruit flies. There was just one just like hovering like right here, and I was just like, my God. Yeah, that's how I'd answer that question. And that's my thing. And really, the most important game of the year comes down to the Rams Buccaneers, because I think those are the two teams that are going to be fighting for the Super Bowl. I think those are the two teams that will likely play in the NFC title game. If not, the Packers, who they also play. So, those two teams are the biggest, I think. The Rams, Bucks, and the Rams and Packers. Rams Bucks is going to be playing LA. Rams Packers is back at Lambeau. So, they're going to have to win both those games, in my opinion, to make sure they get the number 1 seed. Obviously, they'll have to win more than those games, but I think the only two games that they lose one to the 49ers, and they lose one to the Ravens to end the season. I have them going 15-2. How long until Wolford gets a Pro Bowl? I mean, he has to start first, so that wouldn't be possible until Stafford is gone, and there's no guarantee he will be gone. Or, if Wolford goes somewhere else. I don't know if Wolford will ever get to the Pro Bowl, but if the Rams give him an opportunity to start after Stafford, then that would tell me that he has that level of ability, and they're relying on him. How do you feel about Stephen A. picking the Seahawks to win the NFC West? I honestly don't see it happening. I don't know what he's talking about, to be honest with you. Look, Seattle, I think, is the worst team in the NFC West. If they didn't have Russell Wilson, this is a 5 to 6 win team at best. Great addition to go out and get Ahkello Witherspoon, who was one of the more underrated corners last year in football. But the fact of the matter is that the Seahawks just aren't that great. Russell Wilson has really just pushed them to a level that I don't know how many quarterbacks could totally push them to. But I really don't think they're that great. I think their offense will be good. I think their defense isn't as good as last year. So, we'll see. But I'm not... Like, Seattle will probably win 8 or 9 games, maybe 10, but I don't think I'm that high. Jake, who trades for Xavier Howard? I personally lean to Kansas City. Yeah, I think it's between Kansas City and maybe Arizona. I think Arizona makes a lot of sense because they really never feel like they never truly filled that Patrick Peterson void. And I'm not huge on Patrick Peterson by any stretch. I do think he dropped off significantly last year, but you could definitely go out and get a guy to replace him. Byron Murphy's, fantastic, but after that, I'm pretty sure they are starting what's his name? The guy from the Falcons. I'm totally blanking on his name. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of their corners outside of Byron Murphy. So yeah, I do think they'd be in that. And then Kansas City, I've never been a fan of their corners really. So but L'Jarius Sneed is great. So if they just put a guy with L'Jarius Sneed, that would be good. Alford and Malcolm Butler fighting for other spot. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Malcolm Butler has shown in the past, like, he can play, really good, but at the same time, I feel like he's dropped off a little bit. And then Robert Alford, he's just a guy, in my opinion. So, the way I see it is you have Murphy, and then you go out and you get Xavier Howard, and you have to feel really good about where you're at. I mean, I have them as a third team, potentially making the playoffs. I'll have my full rankings later on, but that's probably what I would say in regards to the NFC West. I don't know why you would have Seattle winning. Seattle couldn't even beat Jared Goff with 9 fingers last year. How are they going to beat Matthew Stafford? I don't get the logic behind that. You're at home in the playoffs fully healthy because everybody was healthy for Seattle. They were healthy at the end of the year. The Rams were not, and they still beat them. I don't understand the Seattle love. I never will, but I know the media loves them for whatever reason. I don't know. But yeah. AJ Boye or Dante Jackson? Like, who's gonna start, or who would I take? Dante Jackson's younger. AJ Boye, still pretty good corner. I'll probably take Dante, I think. Not going to lie, man, I think players should honor their contracts too. Many forcing teams to trade them. But I'm all for players, but a contract is a contract. Am I wrong? I don't think you're wrong. I think there are times where this, totally makes sense. And there are times where, you have to have like some sort of, like a bending of the rules type of deal. Because you could add Aaron Donald where the team essentially could have just been like, screw you, Aaron, we're not going to pay you. We're just going to franchise tag you and then franchise tag you again and then franchise tag you again and then pay you. I get that because you don't have that longevity. You don't have that long term. Football life is very short. And as we saw with Cam Akers, you can get hurt even when you're not playing football, and that still hurts your career. So when you look at it, there's a lot of risk involved, and that's why a lot of these players want to be guaranteed longer. They want to have more, guaranteed money, things along that nature. So like for instance, Aaron Donald, like, yeah, I understand why he would want a full-time, a long deal. But, I just think there's sometimes, like, with Xavier Howard, dude, you're getting paid a good amount of money. I just maybe go through another year. I'm not a fan of holding the whole team hostage either. I just don't think it's a great team move, but that's just me. Almost every season, Russ goes on fire, winning all these games, and then MVP talk starts. Suddenly, the team just starts declining. That's true. Thoughts on the Sacramento Kings picking up Davion Mitchell tonight? I don't know who Davion Mitchell is. Let me, is it a draft pick? I was so far out of the draft this year. I've never been this out of it. Oh, he was from Baylor. I think I remember him. Yeah, I remember him. He's a guard. All Big 12. Okay. Yeah, because he started at Auburn and then transferred to Baylor. Yeah, I mean, I think he's not Halliburton like last year, but I do find it interesting. I mean, are we going to talk about how the Kings love to pick all these Big 12 guys? Look at all the Kansas players they drafted. They drafted Iowa State last year and Halliburton, and now they're drafting Davion Mitchell from Baylor. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad pick. I don't know too much about it, but it just seems like they're overloading on guards. But it always seems that way. I mean, they got Ben McLemore, they got Frank Mason, they got what's his name from Michigan. I just feel like they always draft these guards. They call him Buddy Hield. I mean, it's crazy. I think Hield's gone. I don't think Mitchell's the reason though. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not the best to ask about basketball. I used to be so into it and kind of lost touch a little bit. I mean, I'm still into it, but not the way like I used to know all the prospects and everything. But bummer. Bruce or Holt? Bruce, but I love them both. Just heard right now. Just heard what? Herb Jones. Is there anybody from Kansas in the draft tonight? That's the only team I really follow, and I don't even know if they're in there. So the Dodgers made a trade with the Nationals. The Lakers made a big trade with the Wizards. And then the Rams tweeted out, so this whole DC to LA thing, we have a 2093 first round pick available, Washington NFL. I have $3 GIF with Patrick Starr. That's funny. I like that. Hield is definitely gone. IMO, the Lakers botched trade was public, and that probably pissed him off. What do you think the Rams' record will be this year? 15-2. Well, in regards to, if you weren't here earlier, Wyatt, I think Hield could still go to the Lakers because the trade isn't going to be official until mid-August, I believe. I forget the actual date, but I'm going to say mid-August for now. And so once it's available, once it becomes official, essentially what can happen until it's official, they can rework it. So what they can do is they can add another team and maybe even a fourth team and try to rework it, sweeten the deal, what have you. All that's happened is that the Lakers and Wizards have agreed to trade together, and the Lakers will be getting Russell Westbrook, barring an absolute catastrophic failure on the part of either team. But that also opens up the door for a sign and trade. So the Lakers could sign and trade Dennis Schroeder and, essentially try and get Buddy Hield thrown into this deal in addition. The reason for adding a third or a fourth team is because, you can alleviate the pressure on your cap, on your picks, things along that nature. If it saves you draft capital, or if you're able to get another really good player, like in this case, Hield, it makes sense. So I think that's something that the Lakers are going to look into down to the wire. And then once it's official, then, if they don't make that trade, they don't make it. But they definitely want Buddy Hield. And so I wouldn't be shocked if that's what Rob Pelinka is trying to do. So the interesting thing, though, is that, Bradley Beal wants to stay with Washington. I don't think that's what everyone was expecting. So Bradley Beal wants to stay in Washington, despite what some people were saying about how he wanted to be traded to Boston and things along that nature. So if Beal's going to stay in Washington and the Lakers are taking on this big Russell Westbrook contract, I can't even talk. And I know they're taking on other contracts as well, Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell and guys like that. But, Washington has an opportunity here. They can go out and get another running mate for Bradley Beal that may fit his skill set more. And maybe you could say that Russell Westbrook and him just weren't the best combination. I don't know if I would agree with you because I thought they were a pretty good combination. Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook seemed like they were not fully healthy at the same time ever. But, I think that's something interesting. And I'm curious to see who they go out and get. Maybe they go out and they try and get Damian Lillard. Imagine him and Beal. That'd be interesting. I don't think Beal minds sharing the spotlight, but we saw Beal has the ability to play the 1 and play the 2, and he could play the 3. We know that. So I don't think he wants to play the 1. I think he wants to be a 2 guard. And so going out and getting Lillard, who is, he's a point guard, let's be real. But, both guys are built like combo guards. I think it would work. But, anyone have anything else before I sign off? Don't forget, at JK Bogan on Twitter, you can head on over and you can go to my Twitter. You'll find the pinned post. It's PS5 giveaway. Be sure to follow the instructions all the way through and enter. And I'll be announcing the winner of the PS5 giveaway on the live stream following the Rams and Bears opening night game on Sunday Night Football. But I think that's going to do it. Yeah, right, Christian. I know. All right, guys. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. I had a lot of fun talking with you. Going to be back soon. Going to get videos up. We're going to have a great off season. We're going to have a great preseason. We're going to have a great training camp. And then we're going to have a fantastic season like you've never seen before on YouTube for Rams content and other content moving forward. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have a great night, and we'll keep in touch. If you want to keep talking, be sure to join the Discord channel. I'll throw a last second, if I can find it here, throw a last second invite link. Got 275 people in there, so if you want to join the Discord channel, pretty much 24/7 Rams talk. If it ever loads, I'll just drop in the chat. But Oh, there we go. So yeah, go and hit that. Join the Discord channel. We'll be doing all sorts of fun stuff in there. We'll have exclusive Discord giveaways, and that will be that. So you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.